And good evening and welcome back to the broadcast booth here in the Crow's Nest at Bancroft Memorial Park. We are just about set for Game 3 of today's Triangle Series, and it will be between those guys and Fairmont Martins. All right, so Fairmont's played the first game in the Triangle today against New Ulm, and it was a heartbreak loss in a costly error in the top of the seventh that allowed 3 runs to score for New Ulm to take game 1 of this 3-game series 5-3 over Fairmont. So they got the quick break here, and then those guys pick up game number 2 in a 2-0 3-way shared no-hitter over New Ulm between Michael Sturrock, Luke Patzner, and Ben Olson, all combining for just a handful of walks, 12 strikeouts, and no hits. So that's pretty impressive there. We also saw good days, at least good game ones at the plate for Brad Goulet. He'll be leading off once again. Also getting some hits was Will Sturrock, as well as Aaron Mason on an infield single. Also want to give a big thanks to the Sturrocks from listening from the Twin Cities. Thank you so much for sharing that, guys. Great to hear from you. And also, if you're listening in from across the nation or across the Midwest or even the state, just not coming out to a great day at the ballpark, let us know where you're listening in from. I'd be glad to hear it. Well, let's go ahead once again and meet the starting lineups for Fairmont. 0-1 on the day today. They had a nice win over Blue Earth earlier this week right here at Bancroft Wednesday night, 11-3. So they're hoping for better things. The Martins will be dressed in the light blue jerseys, the gray hats, and gray pants for the third and final contest here at Bancroft Memorial Park today. Leading things off in a center field will be number 7. Looks like Jack Waltick. I'll get the name actually there. Very sorry. Yeah, Jack Waltick out of Fairmont. He'll be leading off out of center field. Batting second at shortstop, wearing number 3, Spencer Chirpick. Batting third, the second baseman, number 2, Luke Becker. In the cleanup spot for Fairmont will be his third baseman, number 15, Derek Schoen. Batting fifth in left field, number 27, Tyler Tennyson. The sixth hitter and designated hitter, number 10, John Trato. Batting seventh in center field. That's not adding up. Still batting seventh, wearing number 17, Levi Becker. Batting eighth at first base, Adam Schmidt, wearing number 31. And batting ninth at catcher, number 34, Ethan Hearn. The pitcher tonight for Fairmont, wearing number 1, will be Matt Lytle. Again, Fairmont will be at the plate first. The visiting team wearing the light blue. Those guys representing this weekend the colleges on their backs. So all sorts of colors for those guys. Eventually we'll be in the boys in blue. Don't you worry about that. All right, let's shift our attention now to the starting lineups for those guys, led by head coach Michael Kieran and Pete Sartorius. Getting a win this past one in a 3-way shared no-hitter, 2-0 victory over New Ulm. Thanks again for New Ulm for making the trip. Leading things off for those guys, the second baseman out of Akron, Brad Goulet. Batting second at third base, Brendan Doherty. The 3-hitter out of center field will be Will Sturrock out of Nyack. The DH and cleanup hitter out of Morehead State will be Arthur Sells. 5th hitter and shortstop out of Xavier will be Sam Olson. First baseman batting sixth, Carter Tronson out of DMAC, as well as Davenport U. 7th hitter out of left field, Tynan Shahidi out of Parkland Community College. Batting 8th in right field, Aaron Cowboy Mason out of Doane. He's playing his senior year, making his return to Bancroft, going 1 for 3 this past game. And we got a new catcher batting 9th to round out the lineup in game number 2 for those guys this season. Carter Lang out of Briarcliff, as well as Missouri Valley in high school here in Iowa. The young player, very happy he could come up. All-state in high school, as well as hitting .203. And man who really needs no introduction if you're familiar to him, Tyler Jacobson, making the start on the mound here in game number 3 today for those guys. Very happy he's on our side for once. Got to call Bancroft's games last summer. And if there was a Pitcher of the Year award for the Pioneer League, he would, without a doubt, have have been pitcher of the year. That man is one heck of a hurler on the mound. The right-hander out of Benedictine Mesa in Arizona had a 4-1 record this past spring, 2.75 ERA, 39 innings pitched, had 32 strikeouts. Also put up incredible numbers this past summer in Carroll. Overall, just a dynamite pitcher on the mound. Very excited that we get to watch him pitch once again here tonight. Well, the boys in blue, the umpires, once again make their way back out onto the field. The third and final game here tonight. Still a great turnout. Still very lucky and thankful we're able to host these games for these young men playing baseball here tonight after the tumultuous few months we've had here in the year of 2020 with social distancing and CDC guidelines stripping a lot of these college players of their spring seasons playing baseball. Some of them seniors. That's just heartbreaking. So we're very happy they at least get to come out and play all of our favorite games once again here tonight and this summer. So this will once again be a 7-inning contest. Fairmont, the visitors, those guys, once again, the home team on the scoreboard. Should be another good, close contest. Talent on both teams. Fairmont's almost picking up the first win over New Ulm, if not for a costly error. And don't forget, once again, to tune in tomorrow. We'll have another doubleheader against the visiting Blue Earth from Minnesota. So the plan is to have 4 games a weekend, 2 doubleheaders for Saturday and Sunday, maybe potentially some games on Fridays and Thursdays. The season schedule so far is pretty fluid. We're set every weekend right now in June. You can find that on our Facebook page. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter for all the updates, as well as all the player signings. We appreciate the support for these young men willing to take the trip out to Bancroft this summer. Very happy, very blessed to host great baseball once again in this historic town of Bancroft, Iowa. Well, we're just about set. Fairmont will once again be leading things off. At the top of the first, Jack Waltick, Spencer Chirpick on deck, and Luke Becker, the 3-hitter. And again, Tyler Jacobson set to make his first start for those guys this summer. Still a very windy day, and especially with pitchers able to stay conditioned pretty easily just by simply playing catch, throwing a bullpen or 2, a long toss. You got to figure the matchups are going to favor them today. We've already seen 2 low-scoring contests. And with those guys' pitching staff, we already saw great days from Michael Sturrock, as well as Luke Patzner and Ben Olson, combining for 12 strikeouts and no hits given up against New Ulm. And if this next guy's in the zone, you're about to see one heck of a pitching clinic from Tyler Jacobson. But then again, probably won't be going the full game. Another Johnny Holstaff game expected. We got Thomas Brooks and Alex Amaral also making the trips out here today. So it'll probably be a similar situation, potentially looking at Jacobson for 3 innings, and then Amaral and Bruss to close it out. For Tyler Jacobson, very lucky to have him pitching here today, as it might have been a questionable whether he were to throw today. Might have tweaked his back, he said, playing catch this past week, but he feels good, feels ready to go here tonight against Fairmont. So we're very happy to have him here. Connor Lang, the new catcher this game. He'll be coming in for Nate Stoltz behind the plate. So Tyler Jacobson set to make his debut for those guys this summer in Bancroft. Very happy to have him here. We're just about set. Jacobson working from the windup in the first pitch coming up. He fires, swung on and missed for Jack Waltic, and we are once again underway here from Memorial Park. Still a beautiful night, but that strong wind is going to kill a lot of batted balls to the outfield. Making it very tough trying to really just hit through it. Waltic holds off on pitch number 2 for strike 2. Trying to do double duty, so bear with me up here in the broadcast booth. Jacobson winds, fires just above the letters. And with 2 strikes, he really likes to go high, tries to get him chasing, and he had great success and just overall a fantastic presence on the mound for Tyler Jacobson. Goes back from the windup. He has a 1-2 count. Swung on a grounder towards Olsen. He charges and can't finish off the play. As Waltic will reach first base on an E6. Olsen had a tough play right there. Couldn't quite corral it on the bounce, but still. Runner on first, nobody out, and that will bring up Spencer Chirpick, right-handed batter now. So we get a lead from Waltic. Jacobson now going to go from the belt. First pitch, taken on the outer half of the zone for strike 1. 0-1 the count now for Chirpick. Waltic takes a lead off first, pretty modest. Tronson hold him on. Quick pick over just to hold him there. Still 0-1 the count. Temperatures right around 82 degrees. Sunshine poking out now. Still very windy here tonight. Here's the 0-1. Runner takes off. Broken bat to the right side. Tronson gets it there, and Jacobson will meet him at first base for a broken bat ground out for out number 1. Waltic will head to second. But will advance the runner to second, so 1 down. Stepping in now, the 3-hitter Luke Becker. Runner on second, 1 down. Jacobson from the stretch. First pitch of the at-bat. Swung on and missed. Gets the fastball past him for strike 1. On the count here, still 1 down. Very windy here. Nice, healthy lead from Waltic at second. Lang will have to reach outside for ball 1. Jacobson has to jump back up to get the ball. 1-1 the count now. Jacobson gets his pitch from Lang. 1-1 with 1 down. Runner on second. Dancing around second. Waltic stays there. A curveball right over the plate. Good pitch from Jacobson, and a lot of chirping there from the Fairmont dugout. I like the call. Still 1-2. Jacobson works back ahead. Nice curveball there. Looking to execute for out number 2 here. 1-2. And the pitch. Fastball gets him chasing upstairs for strike 3. Nicely done, and there's out number 2. For Tyler Jacobson, he gets his first strikeout for those guys this summer. Count here to the cleanup batter for Fairmont as a fastball just misses low and away to Derek Schoen. Third baseman wearing number 15 for Fairmont in the light blue. 2 down still. Waltic left on second. And swung swung on and missed. Strike one. On the count from Jacobson, shown the batter. From the right side, Jacobson from the belt. Second pitch, and that's just going to get him on the jersey. Just misses inside on a curveball. Still two away, but now we have a force out at first, second, or third with two away, so a ground ball could put this inning on now a hit by pitch and an E6, resulting for two Fairmont base runners here in the top half of inning number one. And this one hit the air to the right side. Tronson might have a play on it, watches the fence, and it goes out of play. So a high and long strike one there for the batter, Tyler Tennyson. Game number three here, we're still scoreless. Top half of inning number one, two runners on, two down. And Tyler Tennyson, the batter, the left fielder, wearing number 21 for Fairmont. Jacobson sets, and the pitch swung on and popped up out of play once again. Strike two. So far, Jacobson still looking to settle in, trying to get out of a jam. Sturrock got one. Got himself in one for walking the first two batters, but still got out of it very nicely and didn't look back. 5 strikeouts in 3 innings of work and still a barehanded catch on a line drive right back at him. Good stuff. 0-2 from Jacobson, and it misses high for ball one. Still ahead in the count, 1 ball to 2 strikes. Jacobson still waiting for the pitch, doing a great job changing up the pace. One of his specialties. Here's the 1-2. Gets him popping up in the infield. Going to have to call it off is Lang. And there is the third and final out for those guys. We head to the bottom of the first as they leave 2 runners stranded, and we're still scoreless. Top of the first, Tyler Jacobson retires the Martins in 5 batters faced. An error, a hit batter, a strikeout, a ground out, and a pop out to the catcher. And we'll start things off once again with Goulet, Doherty, and Sturrock. 1, 2, 3 for those guys. So with Goulet, Doherty, and Sturrock due up, Matt Lytle wearing number 1 for Fairmont's on the mound, a right-hander versus a right-hander today. Lytle versus Jacobson. Stepping in after going 1 for 3 in the leadoff spot earlier today, Brad Goulet, the second baseman out of Akron University. One heck of a ball player. Again, his numbers, it looks like he had a batting average right around .313 with 7 home runs and 35 stolen bases. We got him for last year. And this time, first pitch misses high and in, almost getting Goulet, but he dodges it. You know, he's looking to swing away here in his first at-bat of the third game today. Lytle goes back from the windup, 1-0 with a pitch. This is high and inside. Ball 2. Big thanks to Luke after a big game 1, helping me with the scoreboard. Taking one of these duties it off my hands. But it's 2-0 here to Goulet first. And that's another ball there. Still not looking for not getting a pitch to drive here with no strikes. And 3-0 here, Goulet. We're just going to time it up, and that's what he does. He gets a fastball in the inner half for strike one. Again, 1 for 3 earlier, and Goulet was an all-region at DCTC. With a 381 average, around 34 stolen bases. He's one heck of a ball player, and he will go to first on balls. A 5-pitch walk to start off the bottom of the first. Runner on first, nobody out. That'll bring up our number 2 hitter once again, Brendan Doherty. Went 0 for 1, but still drew a couple of walks in game number 2 today. Good job getting on base. With a nice stance leading off first. Lytle going to have to go from the stretch. First pitch to Doherty. Takes it on the inner half of the plate for strike one. A 1 count here. Left-handed batter out of Bradley. Goulet still leading off first, and Doherty will take another fastball for strike 2. Going to have to battle back now, 0-2 in the count. Doherty still a 283 hitter at Bradley, a 4-year starter. Glad to have him aboard this summer, as well as each and every one of these great ball players for those guys. Third pitch to the at-bat. Doherty will let this one tail outside in the other batter's box for ball 1. So he's once again going to have to battle back with 2 strikes. He's already gotten to a couple of full counts. Did a good job reaching base 2 times. 1-2. Doherty stays alive, gets a piece of it, and fouls it straight back. Drawing a 5-pitch at bat at the least. Stays in the box, still locked in. Lytle sets once again. 1-2 to Doherty, and might have been a changeup. Doesn't quite come in. So hard is his fastball, and it misses high for ball 2. Doherty gets back to even. Here's the 6th pitch of the at-bat. Doherty pops it up. It goes out of play. Doing a good job just wasting pitches with 2 strikes, just fouling them straight out, getting deeper, seeing it a little bit more, and allowing his on-deck batter Sturk and Sells to also scout that much further. Still a 2-2 count here from Lytle, from the belt. And this one hit in the air towards right center. And it's just going to hang in the air and be caught for out number 1 by the center fielder, Levi Becker. Will Sturk steps in, the 3-hitter for the first time here in game number 3. Went 1 for 3. Line drive just hit really hard just past the shortstop in game number 2. Those guys are in this contest 1-0. Fairmont at least 1-1. They won back here on Wednesday. They lost to New Ulm earlier today as Sturk swings through a pitch, strike 1. Fastball at the letters. Lytle resets, just a quick step off the rubber. Light tails back to first. Sturk again, a 370 hitter at Nyack this past spring. 366 as a freshman. They'll take this one above the letters, and Goulet will easily steal second. As the catcher, Ethan Hearn, couldn't even get the throw off. As Goulet slides in for another stolen base. And it's 1-1 here to Sturk. RBI opportunity here once again to get those guys out in front in first. Fouls it straight back off the mid of Hearn, and strike 2. Sturk rolls this one over towards shortstop. And a great grab. The throw on the run. Beautiful play there from shortstop from Fairmont. Spencer Chirpic on the run. It's a 6-3 putout. Goulet will advance to third. But Sturrock can't reach in time, and will now go to Arthur Sell, still looking to get the ball rolling at the plate here as the cleanup batter for those guys. 0 for 3 in the first game. A couple hard hit balls. The wind is really just killing a lot of line drives and long hit balls as Sell swings through the first pitch of this at-bat, strike one. Lytle trying to hold the game scoreless still here in the bottom of the first, 2 down. Goulet just 90 feet away on third. Lytle still going from the stretch. This one's going to miss low and away, and Hearn going to have to slide to catch it. Goulet almost scoring on another pass ball. 1-1 now the count. The belt. And an inside fastball. Sell swings and misses again for strike 2. Sell's now the designated hitter this game. Shahidi will replace him in left field. Got Samuels at shortstop on Zach. 1-2 now the count. Lytle wastes little time, and he'll sit Sells down looking. So both Fairmont and those guys will leave runners stranded after the first inning of play here in game number 3 of tonight's Triangle from Bancroft Memorial. It's still those guys 0, Fairmont 0, as we go to the top of the second. All right, well, we're back here in the top of inning number 2. Joined by Luke Patzner, had a great outing, and fun fact, today was actually the first time he tells me that he pitched since last March. I think that would be 2019. He was also a state champion at Urbandale along with teammate Carter Tronson out here tonight. Very happy to have him aboard as Tyler Jacobson once again retakes the mound. Top of the second. We're facing 6, 7, 8 hitters. Lead things off with John Trado, the left-handed designated hitter. Jacobson starts him off, swing and a miss on a fastball, strike 1. Jacobson back from the windup, really keeping them on their toes, changing up the pace every pitch, and another swing and a miss this time. John Trado, 0-2 now the count. 0-2 from Jacobson. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Trado goes down swinging to start off the second. As Tyler Jacobson now going to settle in here. Got himself in just a slight jam in the first, got out of it, had 2 base runners on an error and a hit by pitch. Very cool and composed, though. He does not get rattled easily. With 1 down, we now go to the 7th-hitter, Levi Becker, out of center field. First pitch to him goes right back to the heater, strike 1. One Jacobson right back at it. This one hit in the air to the right side. Could be tailing. Wind might push it. Goes out of play. Again, I'd like to think past those light poles that's out of play. Might not be on these viewing screens here for you, but definitely obstacles. So again, with great pitching, it's going to be pretty tough for these hitters to try to get much with the pitching they're facing as well as the wind. You're Really got to try to find a hole. And with Jacobson, he just continues to go to work. 0-2. This one lined very sharply to the right side. It's some machinery out there in foul territory, so now it'll be a 4-pitch at bat for him at least. Nobody on, 1 down. Still a scoreless ball game here from Bancroft. Jacobson gets his pitch from Lang. Winds and fires. Swung on. Grounded nicely to the left side, and it's through the 5-6 hole into left field as Becker gets the first hit of the ball game for the Fairmont Martins. Still double play territory now for Jacobson. The ground ball could twist it here between Goulet, Olsen, as well as Tronson and Doherty at the corners. Go now to the 8-hitter, Adam Schmidt, a first baseman. Bit of an open stance here. Fairmont trying to build off of that single from Levi Becker. Fresh count, and this one somehow just missing on the inside part of the plate. Ball 1-0 count now. Well, Jacobson fires a fastball, fouls it straight back out of play, strike 1. And doesn't seem to get rattled easily, just going to go right back from the stretch. And we got a nice breeze coming in here. Again, that wind just straight out of now center field. It's going to kill any balls just hit in the air. 1-1 from Jacobson from the stretch and swung on and missed by Schmidt. Got a 1-2 count now, following the single from Becker. Fourth pitch on the way. Jacobson kicks and fires, and that'll do it for Schmidt. Swings and misses on a high fastball for strike 3. So Jacobson gets his 3rd strikeout of the game as we now go to the 9-hitter, Ethan Hearn, the catcher, rounding out the lineup for Fairmont. And I want to thank the Sturks from listening in from Twin City. Let us know where you're listening to the ball game tonight from. Very happy to be back to baseball. With 2 down, here's the first pitch to Hearn, right down Broadway for strike 1 taken. Jacobson gets his pitch. Still a small lead for Becker over at first. A curveball, and Hearn sits on it. Long side, but still swings. Comes up empty. Strike 2. Now an 0-2 count, 2 down. Still runner on first. Still scoreless here in Bancroft. Jacobson gets his pitch from Lang. And fires. Swung on and missed, and despite the hit from Becker, Jacobson retires the order in strikeouts. Facing 4 batters, striking all 3 out for the outs. Still scoreless after the first inning and a half. Coming back to the bottom of the second, we'll lead things off 5, 6, 7 with Sam Olsen, Carter Tronson, and Tynan Shahidi due up for those guys. Welcome back to Bancroft as we start off the bottom of the second. And game number 3 tonight was Sam Olson, the shortstop out of Xavier University. Division 1, he had 294, 24 stolen bases last year. And the first pitch he takes at the letters, just a little high and inside for ball 1. Still got 82 degrees, but it feels pretty cool here. Got a nice strong wind from center field as Olson hits this one right back up the middle. Well batted ball, but that just might be the story for a lot of these at-bats. Hitting it right on the nose, but it's not going to do you any favors with his wind. So Olson lines out to center field for out number 1. Go back to Carter Tronson, former player for the state championship team out of Urbandale. We know he's a 310 hitter, all region at DMAC. Can win to Davenport next year. First pitch, swung on and missed from Lytle, strike 1. It's already 3 pitches from Lytle as those guys try to put a little pressure on. Still scoreless here, bottom of 2, 1 down, nobody on. Second pitch, Tronson lets this one go by inside, ball 1. Pitch of the at-bat on the way. Tronson takes it well high for ball 2, and it looks like we still got some pitchers coming tomorrow from Nick Cole, Lucas Gardner, Brett Price, Jacob Wesselman, and potentially Josh Yulanen and Nate Zizda. As on the field now, Tronson swings and misses for strike 2. Again, really the first weekend might just be trying to get back into the swing of things for most of these hitters. Might be looking at some low-scoring ball games as a pitch right there goes swinging and missing for Tronson. Strike 3. That'll be out number 2. Base runners on. Shahidi trying to get something going here with 2 outs for those guys. The 7th hitter playing left field. First pitch on the way to Shahidi, and a curveball runs its way back into the zone over the plate for taken for strike 1. Nice pitch there from Lytle. Works back from the windup and fires, and just outside. Not a bad spot. Could have been called either way, but taken for ball 1. 1-1 count here as Lytle and Shahidi do battle. Third pitch. Taken just high, ball 2, and good discipline there from Shahidi. Still waiting for his first pitch to drive. That 1 strike on a nice curveball. Probably a good one to lay off of first pitch. 2-1. Swung on and missed, strike 2. And we got deuces across the scoreboard now. Two from Lytle, and hit in the air to right field. And it dies down just enough in time for the Fairmont right fielder. That's either got to be Becker or Waltek, both of them penciled in as center field. Nonetheless, for the time being, we got ourselves a pitcher's duel between Matt Lytle and Tyler Jacobson, as Jacobson comes back out of the field for the top of the 3rd inning. We'll go back to the top of the order for Fairmont with Waltek, Chirpik, and Becker due up, still scoreless after 2. Welcome back to Bancroft as we go now to the top of the third and back to the top of the order. Jack Waltic stepping in 0 for 1, but reaching on an E6. He swings and misses at a Jacobson fastball for strike one. My name is Mitch Kieran. Thanks for stopping by and tuning in to some actually live baseball for once. Great to be back here this summer for a new amateur team. Those guys out of Bancroft, and couldn't check it, and they're going to say he held off on the second pitch. He had bat 1-1 now. Not a bad pitch from Jacobson. Waltic just holds off by an inch. And we go 1-1 now as the leadoff man leads things off at the third. Nobody on, nobody out. Jacobson winds, and this one's hit out of play. Strike two. Still no action in those guys' bullpen. Looks like Jacobson could be stretching this one today. Even with a quote-unquote back tweak earlier this week. And swung on and missed. And this time he gets Waltic swinging in, missing for strike three on 4 pitches. Good execution there for Jacobson to start things off here in the third. Faced 5 hitters in the first, 4 in the second. And that's strikeout number 5 for Jacobson. We go now to the shortstop, Spencer Sherpick, stepping in 0 for 1 with a ground out at first. 3-1 put out as he fouls off the first pitch. 0-1 now. 0-1 the count. Jacobson from the windup. Lang sets up outside, and might have been a slider, some form of a breaking ball, just getting a piece of it. Sherpick fouling into the net for strike two. And an 0-2 count. Umpire still waits to get set. And here we go. 0-2 from Jacobson. This one hit pretty well and good off the bat. Foul ball in the barrel. It'll still be strike two. A long strike. 0-2 count. Still nobody on base here for Fairmont. They were able to get their first hit last inning with Levi Becker. He was left stranded after 3 strikeouts. And Jacobson hits a nice curveball there. Sherpick just digs it out to stay alive. Still working with an 0-2 count on a 5-pitch at bat. From the windup, and another 0-2 pitch, and another foul ball. We got ourselves a nice battle here from Sherpick. For the time being, won't be put away. Looking for the second hit for the Martins. So I wonder if we'll see Witzke, Bruss, or Amaral in today's game, as this one's grounded towards Tronson at first. And he'll flip it to Jacobson at first for out number 2. Good communication out there in the field. So once again, Sherpick will go down with a 3-1 put out, 0 for 2 on his day so far. And I'll bring up Luke Becker, the second baseman, batting third. Stepping in 0 for 1 with a strikeout thus far. Jacobson gets his pitch, takes his time, and fires. And it's a fastball high and inside, gets him chasing. And Jacobson really lives very well to get ahead at the chest. A lot of times we saw him last summer with 2 strikes. He made a lot of guys chase with that upstairs fastball. Had a lot of success for the Merchants as a PCBL All-Star last summer. This time it'll even up all low and inside. 1-1 the count. Third pitch of the at-bat, swung on and fouled out of play. pitch on the way here. That one goes foul. 1-2. Jacobson looking to put away the Martins. Potentially 1-2-3. Here's the 1-2 from the windup, and he'll stay alive. Fouling it straight back. Still a 1-2 count here for Tyler Jacobson. Finally on the same page with Lang. Fires, and ooh, not a bad spot there on the outer half. Just missing for ball 2. Jacobson almost executing there for strike 3. Jacobson, this time he'll get him swinging and a miss, strike 3. And there's another 1-2-3 inning. Actually, that's the first one today for Tyler Jacobson. And that is now his 6th strikeout in 3 innings of work. So good to see Jacobson once again in his usual form. As we go to the bottom of third, still scoreless. Those guys coming to bat. Leading things off, 8-9 top. We go from Mason to Lang to Goulet coming up. Back here in the bottom of the third, Aaron Mason lays off a breaking ball for ball 1. And his first at-bat here in game number 2 for those guys. Leading things off in the third. And this time he'll watch it go low and away, ball 2. Looks like Alex Amaral might be due up next to pitch for those guys coming to us out of Swick. 2-0. And he gets him that time, looking for strike 1. This time chopped foul. Mason will get back to a 2-2 count. Trying to start things off for those guys, only getting 1 base runner so far with a leadoff walk from Goulet in the top of the first. The pitch. Mason sits on it very nicely. A breaking ball dies low. And we work back to another full count. Payoff pitch to Aaron Mason, and right back up the middle. Lytle in perfect position to get the ball, and he flicks it to first to retire Mason for out number 1. On the 1-3 putout, we now go to the catcher, Connor Lang, coming to us from Missouri Valley in Iowa and from Briar Cliff University in Sioux City, Iowa. I believe just a freshman. He was all-state, and he batted .302 this past spring, so good stuff from him. Hoping he can translate here after, like a lot of these guys, a lot of due time off. He'll take strike 1 on the first pitch of his at-bat. Catching now after game 1, caught by Stoltz. He'll be in the bullpen for Amaral as this one skied to left, and just a little too high, got under it. Maybe with a little wind or none at all. That could have been trouble, but again, anything hit to the outfield is just going to die on us tonight. So Lang will fly out to left as we go back to the top of the order with Brad Goulet, the only guy so far who's been really able to beat the wind on a double back in the game today. Stepping in 0 for 0. Got a stolen base and a walk last time up. Doesn't like the first pitch. Lets it go low and away. Again, Goulet out of Akron with very impressive numbers. Last year had 7 home runs, 313 average, 35 stolen bases. So he's got strength and speed. Second pitch, this time in there for a curveball, strike 1. 1-1 with 2 down here. No runners on for those guys. Goulet steps back in. Still looks like he's got a pretty good approach. Just waiting for a good pitch to drive here with a 1-1 count. The line's up. Here's Lytle. Fastball grounded right back up the middle, and Lytle has another good inning of work here for Fairmont. 3 up and 3 down. As we're now fully locked in a pitcher's duel, and it looks like Amaral will be coming in to pitch for those guys here in the top of the 4th. So just a little bit of offensive frustrations will continue for those guys, but we played 3. Alex Amaral, potentially our next pitcher here. Yes, and he will be. He'll be facing 4-5-6 for Fairmont and Derek Schoen, Tyler Tennyson, and John Trado. Amaral this past spring, a 1-1 record, a 4.4 ERA, 14 Ks and 14 innings of work. So once again, we have already seen great stuff from everyone who's pitched so far. So we got great depth on this pitching staff. Once again, Coach Kieran really having a knack for recruiting pitchers. Back a couple years ago with Albert Lee and Bancroft just a year ago. Also interesting enough, Kieran once again coaching with Sartorius. That's Pete Sartorius coming to us from Eckerd College. And he'll be joining Coach Mike in Bismarck State this fall. Previous experience for them was the 2018 summer for Albert Lee. They led that squad to a 34-6 record and the league title. Still only 1 total base hit, however, this game. It's coming from Fairmont's 7-hitter Levi Becker. So again, the matchups are really favoring the pitchers. At least as far as those guys' games came across, we had 8 runs across the plate for New Ulm and Fairmont earlier. Again, just really glad to have all these players aboard. All of our players, college athletes from all different levels, from NCAA Division I, D2, D3, and even some JUCOs and NAIA players in there. All the cleanup batter will lead things off. Derek Schoen stepping in 0 for 0. Was plunked back in the first on a curveball and just nabbed him on the jersey. So Alex Amaral, the pitcher, right-hander out of Swick, stepping in for the first time today, trying to paint that corner, but those guys haven't gotten much success on that part of the zone so far today. Looks like the next pitcher or 2 we'll see will be Witzke or Bruss, as this one grounded hard back up the middle, and both diving for it, Olsen as well as Goulet. Neither going to get it, so there's another base hit for Fairmont. This time it's Derek Schoen reaching first. We'll now go to the left fielder, Tyler Tennyson. Number 27 stepping in 0 for 1. A popped out to Lang back into end the first. Schoen with a slight lead at first, pretty modest. First pitch from Amaral. Lang gets a block. It gets away from him, though, so reading the pitch in the dirt, Schoen will go into second. Good job blocking the pitch for Lang. Just scooted away from him, unfortunately. So no outs. That'll take away the force. Now we got to find a way to protect that Martin base runner on second. Tennyson looking to drive him in. 1-0 pitch. Swung on. Ripped to left field. Another base hit for Fairmont. Runner will be held up at third as back-to-back singles lead things off for Fairmont here in the top of the fourth. Jacobson's day comes to an end after 3 innings, 6 strikeouts, only 1 hit and a pair of base runners. And Amaral now going to have to find a way out of this jam. Looks like we got Thomas Bruss starting to play some catcher. Chris Witzke out in the bullpen. A big righty and an athletic lefty. First pitch to Trado swung on and missed. The designated hitter batting 6th today for Fairmont. A 1 count and an RBI opportunity for him here could potentially put Fairmont on the board first. A 1 from Amaral. Curveball just missing. It ran a little too far inside there for ball 1. Count goes back to even. No outs, runners on the corners here. Fairmont trying to crack on the scoreboard first. Third pitch to Trado on the way. Just missing a little outside. Ball 2. Fourth pitch on the way as runner takes off for second, and this one fouled back into the net by Trado. That'll send the runner back to first. Strike 2. Now 2-2, nobody out. So that ball there backfires for Fairmont. Could have been potentially hit and run nonetheless. Still runners held at the corners. Going to be interesting to see here if Lang potentially throws down to second. Now just a much smaller lead at first. This time, curveball missing for ball 3 inside. Already 3 base hits for Fairmont, just still held scoreless. Could be changing here soon. Full count, and Trado stays alive. Another foul ball. From the belt, and Amaral fires. Swung on and missed, and Trado goes down striking out for the second time this game, and there's out number 1. Amaral still with a lot of work to do here. 1 down, runners at first and third. At least he's moving in the right direction after getting his first strikeout. We go to Levi Becker stepping in 1 for 1. And now he has an RBI opportunity. Amaral kicks and fires the first pitch. Nice curveball there. Runs across the plate for strike 1. Get ahead. Second pitch on the way as runner takes off for second once again, and another foul ball will send Tyler Tennyson back to first. Could potentially be 2 backfiring hit and run calls. Now it's an 0-2 count for Levi Becker. Third pitch on the way, and this one's in the dirt, but runners will be held up. Good block by Lang. Now go to 1-2. I believe Fairmont still entering this contest 1-1. A victory right back here at Bancroft on this past Wednesday evening, and a loss earlier today. Fourth pitch on the way, 1-2, and another ball missing low and away, caught by Lang. 2-2 to the center fielder Becker. Runner takes off once again, and this one's hit in the air towards right. Aaron Mason could be coming in on it. Makes the grab, and he's thrown to the plate. Throw is well past the catcher Lang. Amaral, good job backing it up. But Fairmont will strike first on a sacrifice fly from Levi Becker. Derek Schoen comes in to score after leading things off with a single. So Fairmont's on the board 1-0. Bo with 2 down. We still have a force out at first and second. Good job by Becker to bring that run home. Still 1-0 now for Fairmont. As we go to Adam Schmidt, stepping in 0 for 1 with a strikeout. First pitch from the stretch, swung on and missed for strike 1. And now for the first time today, those guys trail. Gonna have to find a way to scrap out some runs. Hammerall resets. Quick pick over to first just to hold Tennyson there. And from the belt. Won't go chasing that time. Low and away in the other box, ball 1 for Schmidt. Looking for redemption here in his second at-bat. Hammerall fires again. Third pitch taken right back up the middle. And Olsen right there. Fantastic play at shortstop to put away the Martins. However, they still have a very productive inning. 1 run scored on 2 hits. Great execution right there to scrap out that run. But a great play from Sam Olsen to corral that well-batted ball up the middle. So that's out number 3. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Fairmont leads 1-0. Fairmont heads into the bottom of the 4th, leading 1-0. Those guys will once again lead things off 2-3-4 with Brendan Doherty. First pitch, and he gets popped up to the right side. Looks like it'll carry out of play. So a pair of hits and a sacrifice fly bring the first run of the game home for Fairmont in the top half of this inning. And slowly but surely, bats are going to come to life here for those guys. Again, just a big mismatch. You'd have to think, without seeing live pitching in a handful of months, for pretty much this entire squad. 1-1 pitch on the way from the windup. Doherty will take it, riding the chalk inside for ball 2. Ball 3 once again. Doherty doing a great job getting deep in another at-bat. Hitters count. And taken just outside. Doherty draws another walk. Great plate discipline for him today. And another free 90. So the tying run goes to first for those guys, and that'll bring up Will Sturrock, stepping in 0 for 1. Had a hard ground out to shortstop last time. Went 1 for 3 in his first game today. Got to try to aim for line drives. Thomas Bruss heads back out to the bullpen. As Sturrock takes ball 1 above the letters. It's 1-0 now. Lytle will have to go back from the stretch. He's done a great job so far, retiring those guys. with only allowing one base runner all the way back in the top of the first to Brad Goulet. So those guys still looking for their first base hit here today. 1-0 pitch to Sturrock, just outside for ball 2. So after a fairly long inning, offensively, Lytle thrown a little bit off his rhythm. He was trying to settle back in, get back in the zone after a walk to Doherty and a 2-0 count now to Sturrock. Third pitch of the at-bat. Sturrock just holds off, and rightfully so. It's ball 3 and a 3-0 count for Will Sturrock. It'll be very interesting to see where him and Michael both go for their junior and senior years to round out their college baseball careers. And Sturrock this time will walk on 4 pitches. Still no action to Fairmont bullpen, so they're still fairly confident in Matt Lytle. We'll bring the skipper out to the mound, however, just to try to calm things down and actually trying to wave him off. But with no outs, a man on first and second, we'll go to our cleanup hitter once again, Arthur Sells. Lytle was able to get a pitch past him, just nabbing the zone for a looking strike 3 earlier. And he'll step back up, waiting to break things open for those guys in this game here. Still nobody out here. 2 runners on for those guys. Arthur Sells steps in. First pitch, grounded towards third. And it's going to be a fielder's choice, as Sells will beat the throw, but they get the man at second, so they'll trade 1 out and spots at first with Sturrock, but Doherty goes to third, so we now got runners at the corners, 1 down, and a big opportunity for Sam Olson to tie this one up. Wind's still fairly blowing in, so it's going to be very interesting to see where you're going to at least try to shoot this ball. So far, Fairmont's base hits have been on the ground, just getting past the infield in the holes between the infielders, so those guys haven't had that much success as Fairmont's has this game. First pitch will be riding high for ball 1 to Olson, the shortstop out of a D1 Xavier. Looks like Fairmont might be sending a guy just to get warmed up. Looks like John Trado already saw pitching in game 1 today. Olson will foul this one back. Out of play, strike 1. Again, Fairmont's already with 2 games under their belts. They've seen just a tad bit more recent exposure to live pitching, so we're going to have to. It's only going to be a matter of time now before those guys really break things open with the bats. This is still a very talented team we're going to have here in Bancroft this summer, as Olson still works ahead in the count, taking that one for ball 2. Lytle still working from the stretch. And this one right down Broadway, taken for strike 2. Two count now here to Sam Olson. Tronson's on deck. 5th pitch from the belt. Curveball misses high for ball 3, and another full count here for Sam Olson, as the left-handed John Trado is going to get warmed up on the down in Fairmont's bullpen. 3-2 here. 1 batted ball could turn things good for those guys, and it's a swing and a miss for Sam Olson on the full count. Trying to stay alive and just missing. And that's strike 3 and out number 2. So now it's up to Carter Tronson to try and tie things up here in the bottom of the 4th. We still got runners at first and third, 2 down now. Fairmont leading by 1. First pitch of the at-bat to Tronson, just outside, riding the chalk for ball 1. Looks like we might be seeing the big 6'8 pitcher Thomas Bruss coming in sooner than later. different for every guy to see how much conditioning they've had in this offseason. Ball 2 as it's a nice block from Hearn in the dirt. 2-0 now. Hitter's count for Tronson. Got to be looking for one pitch to drive. And Lytle will step off. Third pitch on the way. Lytle comes set and fires. And this one will miss for ball 3. 3 consecutive balls to start off the at-bat to Tronson. We got Shahidi on deck, 2 down. Pitch from Lytle, taken right down the heart of the plate just to get me over for strike 1. Still a hitter's count. Tronson ahead 3-1. Still can be picky. And the 3-1 swung on and missed. Might have been just a hair behind it. Didn't know if he wanted to quite pull the trigger, it looks like, but still alive here. Full count. Looks like Sells will probably be taken off for second on the pitch. Not being held on. And here we go. Tronson goes right back up the middle, and once again, Lytle doesn't have to move an inch. As it's another 1-3 put out to put away as those guys. No runs on no hits, a pair of walks, a strikeout, and 2 runners left stranded as we go to the top of the 5th. It's still Fairmont leading 1-0. So now coming in to pitch for those guys out of Augustana, Thomas Bruss. A couple years ago, a national championship winning program for NCAA D2. Thomas Bruss, last year 5-2, a 4.17 ERA. In 36 innings, struck out 42 Ks, coming to us from Rochester, Minnesota. So glad to have him aboard. And again, this is one heck of a presence we see on the mound, listed at 6'8", around 265 pounds. And if you're watching this game, try to catch the fastball if you can. Able to get the stat of him sitting somewhere between 92 to 94, topping out at 96. Very excited to have him on board again. Just a great group of pitchers we got. So far, a lot of them looking in their midseason form. But Fairmont comes back up to the bat now. Leading things off, 9-1-2. Ethan Hearn, the catcher, steps in 0-for-1 with a strikeout. Bruss will just be going from the stretch. Shows a bunt first pitch, and Bruss somehow misses for ball 1. Lang can't hold on to it. Still, a bunt will be psyched out, taken for ball 1. Second pitch. Right there on the outer half, taking strike 1 to Ethan Hearn. The pitch on the way. They try to go another push bunt here from Hearn. Pushes it too far down the first base side. Foul. It's 1-2 now. pitch. This one hit in the air to the right side. It's going to be between Goulet and Mason. Mason calls for it. Makes the grab for out number 1. So Hearn gets retired here. It's still 1-0. We got 1 out now. No runners on base. Those guys almost tying things up last inning. But not much luck. Now stepping in 0 for 2, but reaching once on an error. Jack Waltic. First pitch, taken just a hair outside, ball 1. Don't forget to stay up to date on our Facebook and Twitter pages. You can like us and follow us there on our socials. Stay up to date on any schedule changes or scoring updates. And we'll have every weekend game broadcasted right here on YouTube. The second pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. So again, if you got a son or a friend playing for those guys or the opposing team, you can still watch it. But hey, why not come out to Bancroft Memorial Park? There's really quite nothing like it taking a game in here. That pitch misses for ball 2. It's 2-1 now. 1 out in Thomas Bruss's first inning of work. Still working out of the stretch with nobody on. Fourth pitch and trying to paint the corner. I don't think any of our pitchers are getting any success with that location. Bruss resets with a 3-1 count now. Pitch swung on right back up the middle. This will be corralled by Olson. And once again, can't hang on to the ball. On the transition, just can't get it. It's another E6. So Waltic once again reaches on an error. And it's Spencer Chirpik coming up to the plate now. 1 runner on. Stepping in 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. Again, Fairmont's able to get their run in on hits. It's just going to be scrapping from here on out. 1 down runner on first. Here's the first pitch to Chirpik, taken on the outer half for strike 1. Bruss trying to settle in here. Runner takes off. Bruss gets a fastball for strike 1, and Lang's throw not in time. Not a bad throw. Really just a great jump by Jack Waltic there to take second base. So that'll take away the 4. Still 1 down. But it's 0-2 here to Chirpik. Swung on and missed. 3 pitches and 3 strikes as he gets him chasing outside. And there's Bruss's first strikeout. That'll be out number 2 here as we now go to the 3-hitter Luke Becker. Stepping in 0 for 2 with a pair of swinging strikeouts. First pitch. Right down Broadway, taking strike 1. So Bruss starting to settle in here after that 3-pitch strikeout to Chirpik. Still 2 down. Waltic standing on second. Fairmont's already getting a handful of hits. I believe I got them down for 3 thus far. Second pitch misses for ball 1. Count now. Fairmont trying to add. Bruss trying to get out of this one. Third pitch. As he holds off and Lang can't quite corral it, so he'll chase it down, but Waltic will stay put at second. 2-1 the count here. Bruss looking for his 3rd and final out in his first inning of work here in Bancroft. He sets at the belt. And fires. Swung on and blows the heater past him, and Lang throws down to second. Almost had Waltic trying to tease going for third. Great anticipation by Lang, and they still hold Waltic at second. Already has one stolen base this inning. But Bruss does a good job tying up the count at 2-2 apiece. And it's high and away, ball 3. So Luke Becker standing in, wearing number 2 for Fairmont, left-handed batter at number 3. The second baseman looking for his first base hit of the game. Struck out twice to Jacobson. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on, and he'll stay alive, fouling it out of play. Now drawing a 7-pitch at-bat from Thomas Bruss. So the full count here. Bruss kicks and fires, and another foul ball as Luke Becker works to the magic number 8 pitch at-bat. So a great battle here from Becker and Bruss, as those guys still just try to settle in and figure out Lytle offensively. Wonder if we'll still see him at the bottom of the 5th coming up next. Full count, 2 down, and another pitch from Bruss, and it's a swing and a miss for Luke Becker, as that's 3 strikeouts for him. And Bruss, in his first inning of work, gets a fly out and 2 strikeouts, and 1 runner left on base with an error. So overall, a good debut for Thomas Bruss. As we go to the bottom of the 5th, Fairmont still ahead, 1-0. And on the first pitch here in the bottom of the 5th, Tynan Shahidi will wear it on the back, it looks like. So a hit by pitch on the first pitch of his second at-bat. So that's his first time reaching base this game. Second time on the day. And a good opportunity here for Aaron Cowboy Mason with 1 runner on, nobody out. Those guys still trailing 1-0 against Fairmont. Matt Lytle having one heck of a game so far on the mound, as Mason just can't quite pull the trigger on a curveball. An indecisive swing misses for strike 1. Still looking for a good pitch to drive here. Ball 1. Shahidi steps off first, and Mason will take this one for ball 1. Very similar pitch there. Breaking ball from Lytle. Now working out of the stretch. No action in either bullpen. And Mason will take this one for strike 2. Looks like it just nabs the outer half of the plate. Mason, the 8-hitter up. We got Connor Lang up next. Well hit ball to left his first time up, but the wind really just killed it. 4th pitch, the at-bat for Mason, and he will go down swinging for strike 3. So unfortunate there for Cowboy. Went 1 for 3 in the first game for those guys, and that'll bring up now Connor Lang. Again, that young catcher standing in at 5'7". Still a pretty good build on him, though, from out of Briarcliff. 302 hitter this past year. And Shahidi dancing around first, and hey, he draws a balk. Good instinct there for Tynan Shahidi. And he'll advance on a balk from Matt Lytle. I think Lytle's tipping the cap there to it, saying he got him. So now we'll continue the at-bat here. Still waiting the first pitch to Lang. Now that Shahidi goes in scoring position, Lang sits back and just misses on it. Not a bad swing at all there from the young catcher Connor Lang. Just about timed it up. But again, I still feel like the entire lineup just trying to get back in the groove of things at the plate. 0-1 to Lang. Sits on it this time once again, just fouls it back out of play. So he'll now work 0-2, one down for the Briarcliff catcher. We're here in the bottom of the fifth. The Fairmont still leading 1-0. Matt Lytle pitching one heck of a game for the Martins. I believe we'll be seeing them once again in another triangular series later this month scheduled for. 0-2 to Lang, and it looks like he wears it just on the elbow. Didn't have to move an inch for it. And he'll get a free 90 there. Hit by pitch, and we'll go to Brad Goulet. He walked to start off this game, got a stolen base. He's stepping in 0 for 1 with a ground out, and will now bring in Nate Stoles to pinch run. So that one might have stung Lang a little bit on the elbow. So Stoltz, our other catcher, will be standing in on first now. Runners at first and second, one down. Brad Goulet steps in, the second baseman out of Akron University. First pitch to Goulet, he'll take it just outside ball one. Good discipline. Hit one of those hard hit ground balls, but Lytle just stuck the glove out there and took it for a nice smooth play. Back in the third. Good opportunity here for Goulet. A 1-0 pitch. And he'll take a curveball here. Might have been riding a little bit inside, but it looks like it just cuts into the zone at the last possible second for strike one. So a good pitch from Lytle. 1-1. And Goulet rips this one, and a diving catch at third base. Wow. Derek Schoen. This one looked like it was going to be rocketed into left field on a line drive for Brad Goulet, and there's not much you can do about that one. So very unfortunate there, but now it's up to Brendan Doherty once again to try to get a run across here with two down. Those guys still looking for their first run of the ball game. And even at that, their first base hit. Doherty will line this one right at second base. And the Fairmont crowd shows their appreciation as Lytle gets out of another jam. Here in the bottom of the fifth, we got 2 innings left from Bancroft Memorial Park. It's still Fairmont 1, those guys 0. We'll be back. Well, great defense limits those guys once again holding 2 runners on base. A couple of diving catches from Fairmont. Just great defense. Another great showing from Matt Lytle. Getting out of a jam. We'll go back to the top of the 6th. Thomas Bruss goes back to work with a nice pitch there. Swung on a miss for strike 1 as he faces Derek Schoen, who really got things going. He's scored the lone run so far. 2 innings ago in the top of the 4th, a leadoff single. Eventually touched them all. 0-1 pitch, and this time Schoenwehr on the shoulder. So Bruss is going to have to work once again with a runner on base. The third baseman, Schoen, really just got to tip your cap. A diving catch. Took away a base hit from Brad Goulet. That could have potentially scored somebody. Bruss will go back from the belt here. Schoen leading off first. This one grounded to the right side. Goulet going to have to just go to first. And instead, Tronson's going to drop the ball. Goulet would have just made a routine ground out. But instead, Tennyson reaches on an error. So very unfortunate start here for Thomas Bruss as he hits the first batter, and this time should have been 1 out. Just not the case. Got to flush it like a brick, and we got to find a way to get 3 outs here before Fairmont extends their lead. Bruss resets, trying to go back to work here. First pitch, they show bunt. It's popped up. Could potentially be an infield fly, but Bruss will just catch it for out number 1. That was the batter, John Trado. So one pop up to the pitcher. That's now 0 for 3 on this game. Go to Levi Becker, stepping in 1 for 1 and a sacrifice fly. So he's brought home the lone run today, looking for another big at-bat here. And instead, he goes fishing upstairs. Comes up with nothing, strike 1, swung on a missed. Nice fastball from Bruss again. He's sitting in the low to mid-90s on a fastball. But Fairmont's been able to calculate it so far, getting a couple of base runners on. 0-1. And a healthy lead at second for Derek Schoen as this one just misses low and away. Ball 1. Chris Witzke, a left-hander, starts to warm up for those guys. He comes from a Division II Harding University, also another home state boy here from Humboldt, Iowa. I actually remember playing against him in high school. One heck of a ball player. Glad he's a part of us. This pitch swung on a miss for strike 2 as it's now a 1-2 count for Levi Becker. 1 down here, 2 runners on first and second. Bruss quickly steps back on the rubber here. Checks the runners, nobody getting hold on. 4th pitch on the way, and he gets him chasing upstairs. Levi Becker goes down swinging. Once again, great execution for Bruss as he quickly gets back to 2 outs after a couple of unfortunate base runners given up. Still neither runner's getting held on. Bruss from the stretch. First pitch, and Schmidt will just hold off on this one below the knees, ball 1. 1-0 count here for the first baseman, Adam Schmidt. Pitch, swung on and missed, strike 1. Bruss continues to do great work here. He already has 3 strikeouts. An inning and 2/3 so far. And he'll reset. The pitch, right at about the letters and taken for ball 1. Two 2-1 now. Schmidt stepping in 0 for 2, strikeout in the second, ground out in the 4th. That one was nearly a base hit. And this one swung on and missed for strike 2, and we got deuces across the scoreboard now. 2 runners on, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here. Bruss still trying to hold Fairmont at 1 run scored so far. Those guys needing to make some very fast adjustments. They only got 2 half innings left of work at the plate. Deuces counts, and looked like a slider somehow just missing for ball 3. Might have broken just a tad too late, so we got a full count now. Runners are probably going to go on the pitch. 2 down. The big pitch here for Adam Schmidt. Bruss comes set and fires. And this one rides outside, and he wisely takes it for ball 4. So that'll load him up for the catcher, Ethan Hearn. Big opportunity for him here as the wind continues to pick up from center field. Looks like we'll be seeing another fresh arm in Chris Witzke in the 7th. Here's the first pitch of the at-bat to Ethan Hearn, and taken right down Broadway, looks like, for ball 1. Not a bad spot from Bruss. He kicks and fires, swung on and missed. He blows the heater by for strike 1 on Ethan Hearn. And he finally paints that corner low and away for strike 2. Good spot to work back ahead here on the catcher, Ethan Hearn, stepping in 0 for 2. Struck out in the 2nd and flew out to right in the 5th. 4th pitch from Bruss, and this one fouled away. He'll stay alive. One, two as Bruss resets. From the stretch, and nearly painting that corner once again, just a tad too low for ball 2. So again, runners on each bag. Fairmont trying to extend this lead. They're down to 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. They still lead those guys 1-0. 2-2. Somehow just missing on a slider. Wanting to go back to that spot, low and away. Won't get Hearn chasing. So he's got to offer him something to swing at here. Full count. Runner's going to be going. Pitch from Bruss, and it misses high. Fairmont extends their lead to 2. So Ethan Hearn outlasts Thomas Bruss there. Keep the bases loaded. He'll trade in a run. Good job there. Looks like we'll get a pinch runner from a number 4 for Fairmont. That's Mitchell Prafke, an infielder out of Welcome. Thomas Bruss still with a lot of work to do here. Needs 1 more out, and we go back to the top of the order. Jack Waltek. He's already reached base a couple times on errors, so he'll battle. First pitch to Waltek, and it's going to miss high for ball 1. 1-0 for Bruss, just trying to get his 3rd and final out. He's already faced 6 batters this inning, only given up 1 run so far. 1-0. Somehow missing there for ball 2. Two-0 for Bruss. And another slider going to miss ball 3. 3 consecutive balls. Bruss just trying to get out of this one. He's got to throw up a strike here. The 3-0. And and taken for strike one. Walczyk already out of the box. Wanting to go to first. 3-1, still a hitter's count for Jack Walczyk, the center fielder. And the pitch taken for strike two, and he's still just wanting to anticipate a walk, ready to throw the bat back to the dugout. Not done just yet. We work another count full. This time with Brust and the leadoff man out of center field, Jack Walczyk. He comes set, the payoff pitch on the way, and taken for strike three looking. So Thomas Brust works his way out of that one after giving up one run in the top of the sixth inning. Fairmont fairly disgruntled at that pitch selection call. But Brust works his way out of the inning, so good stuff there. It only limited to one, so Fairmont now leads 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the sixth. Time is ticking out for those guys. They got to find a way to scrap on some base runners and potentially some runs, with Matt Lytle still doing a great job on the mound for Fairmont. Only a matter of time before those guys finally get in the groove here. Will Sturek set to lead things off 3-4-5, and it was potentially an inning where we could have tied it up. I mean, there's a pair of line drive hits from Goulet and Doherty. Doherty's just right to second baseman. Goulet was screaming towards left field, and instead taken away from the third baseman. That was Derek Schoen. He's having himself a heck of a game. All right, so Sturek out of Minnetonka, Minnesota, coming to us from Nyack. Will be stepping in for the third time this game. 0 for 1 with a walk last time. Lytle from the windup. Sturek sits back on this one, watches it break low for a ball. Second pitch, back Sturek rips this one down the line. We're along strike one. Count evens up at 1-1 for Will Sturek. Lytle out of the windup. Sturek grounds this one towards shortstop. He'll have to run hard for this one, and it goes right past the shortstop for Fairmont. Number 3, Spencer Chirpik. May not be pretty at first, but we got to scrap out some base runners. So Sturek gets on base via E6 to lead things off. So that's what matters, is that he's standing on first now. Nobody out, and we go back to Arthur Sells, reaching last time on a fielder's choice. Corners are going to move in slightly. Same in the middle infield. Sells sits back and gets this one to the backstop. Strike one. The left fielder, now a designated hitter this game at Moorhead State. He hit .363 last year with 9 home runs at Heartland Community College. Second pitch, Sells bops this one back up and out of play. Strike two. Sells once again going to have to battle with 2 strikes. Oh, 2 count. Another foul ball from Sells. He's at least battling. Only a matter of time before he really gets behind one. Lytle still working out of the stretch. Just a quick flick back to first. Start to slide back. This one will miss low and outside. Sturek heads for second. The throw, not in time. Sturek with a stolen base to second. As he moves into scoring position, good job for Sells to lay off that pitch, because now he can drive him in 1-2 or move him over, try to just go with it if he's feeding him outside. He's just got to be looking barrels, try to simple this thing down, try to get Sturck at third or potentially even score him here. Big at-bat for Arthur Sells now. 1-2. Popped him up, and this one will stay in play. Sells trying to evade the first baseman. And somehow he makes the grab. Trying to evade the catcher. That's the first baseman, Adam Schmidt. Somehow making that grab down the first base chalk line. And that's out number one. We now go back to Sam Olson, our shortstop out of Xavier. I believe also out of Dowling. .294 hitter last year. Big at bat from one down, one runner on second, and he'll lay off a curveball taken for strike one. Wait the 0-1 pitch now from Matt Lytle. Really having a great game here today. And he'll work ahead once again, 0-2, this time to Sam Olson. Olson 0 for 2 with a line drive straight out to center field back in the second. A strikeout in the fourth. Still awaiting his first base hit here for those guys. Lytle resets. Might be going outside here. And it's going to go right back towards second base. This will advance the runner. But still stout Fairmont defense gets the out at first for out number 2. Three putout retires Olson after the P3 for Sells. We go to Carter Tronson. Had a hard ground ball right back at the pitcher. Back in the fourth, could have potentially scored the first run of the game. But instead, we can still do it here in the sixth. Fresh count, grounds it towards third. Shown right there, the throw on the mark. And Fairmont showing no holes in their defense as Matt Lytle continues to have a highlight reel game here today for Fairmont. Just got to give it up to him. So those guys are down to 3 more final outs in the bottom of the 7th coming up in just a little bit. We're in the top of the 7th now. Coming into pitch for those guys, once again, out of Harding University of Division II, Chris Witzke put up great numbers there. 5-2 record overall, 1 save. 4.6 ERA with 36 innings, actually 36 strikeouts and 39 innings out of Humboldt. He was an all-state player, an Iowa All-Star as a senior. So a hard player here. I believe he still has another year of eligibility. He was also another pitcher out of DMAC. So Thomas Bruss's night will end after 2 innings of pitching, 4 strikeouts, 1 run given up. Overall, this entire first weekend, you got to think, is just getting back in the feel of an in-game setting. And Fairmont's holding that advantage at the least over those guys. This is their first time even experiencing an in-live baseball game in probably since the middle of March when the whole COVID-19 pandemic took its toll worldwide. Fairmont's able to start their season early right back here at Bancroft this past Wednesday, an 11-3 win over Blue Earth. So a lot more offense in that one, and we'll be facing Blue Earth in a doubleheader right back here tomorrow, scheduled for 2:30. So we hope to once again see you back at the ball field. Once again, it's just great to be back in baseball in any capacity. The high school season set to start just a week from Monday. So in 9 days, that's exciting stuff there as well. North Union out of Sway City also playing here at Bancroft Memorial Park. So good to see baseball back in Bancroft. And we'll start things off top of the 7th. Chris Witzke makes those guys' debut. First pitch will miss for ball one. It'll be up to Tynan Shahidi, Aaron Mason, and Connor Lang to keep things rolling into the bottom of the seventh to try to get some offense rolling this game. Meantime, here for Fairmont, Spencer Churpick leads it off, stepping in 0 for 3. One strikeout, a pair of groundouts. Looks ahead of Witzke 2-0. Even for some of these pitchers, probably the first time even throwing a bullpen, it's really just a test of conditioning and just a matter of just getting used to it once again. The speed of the game as Churpick reached out for this one, fouls it away, strike two for a foul ball. 2-2 on the count now. Witzke doing a good job evening up the count here. The last few pitches, this one ripped right back up the middle. Fairmont's making the most out of these ground balls, and they've been able to get some hits going. And for those guys, we're still waiting their first hit. Witzke going to work out of the stretch still. Hardly showing any lead is Churpick at first. As his first pitch just too low and away for ball one. 1-0 count now. Luke Becker looks like he's a switch hitter. Now standing in as a righty. Takes his first pitch. Second pitch of the at-bat for strike one. 1-1, nobody out. Man on first. And this pitch will ride just over the outer half of the plate. So Witzke staying in the zone here with the runner on first. He gets strike two after the leadoff single from Spencer Churpick. So Fairmont doing a good job turning things around. And they were ultimately in control of that game against New Ulm. It was a costly error late, allowed 3 runs to really blow it open. And this pitch as Becker reaching it for it, just staying alive, fouling it out of play towards first. We've only played roughly an hour and a half in this contest, so we've really just blown through all 3 of today's triangle games, only sitting at about 6:30, starting at noon. This one grounded towards short. This time Olsen gets it to Goulet at second, to Tronson at first, and a nice double play. 6-4-3. Great job right there by those guys' defense. So 2 quick outs. Great job by Chris Witzke getting that ground ball towards Olsen. Easy flick to Goulet, and he'll get to Tronson at first. 1 pitch and 2 outs. To begin now, Derek Schoen. He's having one heck of a game, reaching base 3 consecutive times here. A hit by pitch in the first and the 6th. And getting on the board first in the 4th with a single. And he scored Fairmont's lone 2 runs. He also had that diving catch that took away a hit from Brad Goulet a couple innings ago, as this one ripped out of play into the parking lot. 1-1 now the count. There's nobody on, 2 away. Chris Witzke trying to retire him in order. Witzke from the winds up and hit in the air to the right side, and it once again will tail away as the wind continues to pick up. One-two for Witzke. Here again, Schoen. The pitch pops him up. It's going to stay in the infield. Someone's got to call it off. It's Carter Tronson at first, and he'll make the grab for out number 3. So a good defensive inning for those guys in the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Yeah, we got to get something going here offensively. No hits through the first 6 innings for those guys. And Matt Lytle's looking to go the distance as he continues back on the mound here. final 3 outs here at Bancroft Memorial Park. Those guys needing just 2 to stay alive. Only a matter if they can get to 2 runs before the final 3 outs of this contest. And Fairmont has a couple of great defensive plays, stout pitching from Matt Lytle, and some timely hitting to thank for a 2-run lead over those guys. Still no hits for them. As it's up to Tynan Shahidi, Aaron Mason, and Connor Lang due up for those guys. Leading it off with Shahidi out of Parkland Community College. 328 hitter there. Stepping in 0 for 1, getting hit by a pitch earlier. This one hit in the air towards right, hit very nicely, and just right at the fielder for out number 1. You can't do much with that. Just hung up too long. We'll go to Aaron Mason with 1 down and nobody on base. Fairmont playing this game very fundamentally sound today. First pitch to Mason and hit in the air. Popped him up to the right side. Going to be trouble. And the second baseman able to basket it for out number 2 as Luke Becker tracks it down. 1 pitch out for Mason there. It's up to Connor Lang, the 9-hitter and catcher, stepping in with a hard fly out and reaching on a hit by pitch. First pitch to Lang, a slider misses outside for ball 1. 1-0 Lytle from the windup and grounded right back up the middle. Lang races towards first, and the throw to first is in time. And that's the ball game. Matt Lytle and the Fairmont Martins defeat those guys. So after a great game, for Matt Lytle and Fairmont, everybody gets 1 win here tonight. So you gotta love that at least. The Triangle Series splits here tonight as those guys start off their season 1-1. We saw some great things so far tonight. Saw great pitching from Michael Sturrock as well as Luke Patzner, Ben Olson in game number 1. Tyler Jacobson was off to a great start. 3 innings and 6 strikeouts so far in this one. And without a doubt, player of the game right there for Fairmont. Matt Lytle receives a nice ovation from his teammates. And we want to thank once again the New Ulm fans as well as Fairmont for making the trip here to Bancroft Memorial Park. Hoping for better luck tomorrow offensively as we will continue once again with a doubleheader against Blue Earth from Minnesota. So they'll be making the trip tomorrow. We'll be right back here on this YouTube channel for a doubleheader against Blue Earth. Ultimately, saw some good things. Very promising team ahead of us. It's got to be very tough when you go from very competitive in the spring, in the middle of the season, and an unforeseen pandemic of all things, a virus takes away the rest of these players' spring seasons, cuts them short, and without a doubt, it limits their access to really just play catch. Maybe the pitchers have that advantage. You can really play long toss, a bullpen, really across anywhere. But you're very limited if you're trying to take batting practice, let alone see live pitching. Well, for those guys, unfortunately, Brad Goulet goes 0 for 2 with a walk in game number 2. For Brendan Doherty, he goes 0 for 2 with a walk, as well as Will Sturrock gets an E6 and a stolen base and a walk, reaching base twice. Arthur Sells finished game number 2, 0 for 3, as does Sam Olson. Carter Tronson, Tynan Shahidi goes 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch. 0 for 3 for Aaron Mason, as well as Connor Lang. But a couple of hard hit balls up and down the lineup. So very unfortunate. Couldn't get anything going, but it's a new game tomorrow and a long season ahead of us. We're going to have 4 weekend games, 2 7-inning doubleheaders every Saturday and Sunday right here at Bancroft Memorial Park, which is home to the new amateur independently ran team. Those guys, led by head coach Michael Kieran and Pete Sartorius. So hopefully we'll get things in a much better groove for tomorrow. In the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in. Final score for game number 1 in this one, New Ulm wins 5-3 over Fairmont. Those guys pick up the win in game number 2, 2-0 over New Ulm. And it'll trade sides. Fairmont wins 2-0 after great pitching from one Matt Lytle here in game number 3 to round out this triangular series. My name is Mitchell Kieran. Very thankful for Bancroft, the city of Bancroft, to let us use this field for some high-quality baseball. We're finally back, slowly getting back to normalcy, but at least slowly we're getting back to sports. So we're glad we can host these great college players this year. And we'll see you again once again tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in to Those Guys Baseball. Have yourselves a great rest of your Saturday night, and see you back right here tomorrow.